Some sort.
There we are.
Oh yeah. Just got to put in the lungs, the esophagus and stomach.
Okay. So David, can you tell me, what are your dreams?
I suppose as a worker from Energy, I'm going to talk about our dreams as an organisation. And we very much believe or dream or hope that mental health can and will become mainstream, instead of it being something that has stigma and is negative. It's something that everybody goes through in their life. We all have a bereavement, we all have a relationship breakdown, we all have periods in our life where the mental health spectrum, where our mental health is poor. So positive mental health is something that we try and promote at Energy as much as possible. We go into schools and do talks, and I think that's a very important part is getting kids young and getting them to talk about their mental health. That was something that was never done when I was a child, and it certainly would have made a big difference in my life if somebody had talked to me about mental health issues when I was a child, because I had my own mental health issues, and that's how I got in the line of work. But they could have possibly been tackled at an earlier stage instead of my late 20s, early 30s. They could have been possibly tackled. I could have possibly approached the teacher or whatever if mental health was something that was talked about. But mental health wasn't even a concept when I was 10, 11, 12, 13, how to look after your well-being. I mean, well-being wasn't, I suppose, a concept back then.
And that is a really important dream to have, to try and actually change how people and make it much more acceptable. So how do we encourage and help people to dream?
Having honest and open conversations with people, and at Energy we see, and I see, being invited into somebody's home and being able to work with them is a privilege. And for them to share any part of their life story, again, is a privilege. But to encourage people to dream, I think people need to have a therapeutic relationship with an individual. Now, if it's and that's on the professional sort of side, if it's professionals that are in their lives because they're socially isolated, they're being institutionalised, they don't engage with the community, and it's just services that are involved with them. How do you encourage and help people to dream? Well, you get somebody, one of the workers, a key worker or whatever, to build a good therapeutic relationship with that person, and have open, honest discussions, and take away all the jargon that come along to a conference, and the buzzwords and things like that. You take all that back, strip it back, and what I've often, I suppose it's different for different age groups. Some of the younger people that I work with, I say, right, if you had a bucket list and you would, in 2 years you had a bucket list, what would it be? And that gives you a start point. Now, you can't give somebody £1 million, and you can't give somebody a house with a pool. But if they're homeless, then you can start looking at it. Obviously, I want £1 million, I want a house. But you can start looking at, or you can identify things that come out of the conversation. So you can identify, I suppose, outcomes, but also activities that produce these outcomes. So I suppose that's how we at Energy we encourage people to dream is by really reinforcing that people can and do recover from mental health issues, and true therapeutic relationships, and good honest conversations, and workers being very aware of that power that a worker has over somebody that might have been institutionalised. You have to be very self-aware. You have to be aware that that person might see you as somebody that has power over them and influence. So you don't want them to be telling you what they think you want to hear. You want them to be telling you what they want.
Yeah.
And there's a knack to that.
Yeah.
But the knack of it is having a good trusting relationship, and that's what I mean by that therapeutic relationship, Muriel,
Yeah, and that leads into how do we make people's dreams real, because you've touched on that already, as in actually helping them work out what they want and then helping them find the ways to make those things real.
I mean, later on, I'm sure we'll touch on it. But there's an older chap that we provide some support with, and he's very much into his RAF models, aircraft models, and he said that he would love to go along to Lookers for a day and do a bit of plane spotting. Now everybody's to their own. Plane spotting's not something that I want to do, but one of the other workers was happy to do that. We had another underspend in our SDS budget, so we provided a picnic, and off he went for a day. He had his plane spotting. He had a fantastic day out. He met other plane spotters there, and he made connections, and from that he's established relationships. He's established a friendship with a chap from, I think it's Dunfermline, that phones him now, and they write to each other. So, simple little things like that. Another guy has very serious mobility issues, and all that talk about swimming earlier on. Once a week an OT was coming out and walking them around this crescent and then taking them back. And we live in a route of the project, and he lives in a very rural area, so the OT was coming from about 20 miles away, spending 15 minutes to half an hour with him, and then going away, and it was having no impact whatsoever. He said he loved swimming, so with our worker, we went down and obviously looked at the risk, and in St Andrews is a very good disabled access. It's all on one level, so for the first time we went down, there was 2 workers, but now we've got it down to 1 worker because it's there is very little risk. But it's chalk and cheese with his mobility, the half-hour walk round the block was doing him no good whatsoever. But on a weekly basis, he gets out and he has a coffee when he he's into his routine. We go swimming, and then they go and have a coffee up at Morrison's, and he sees people that he hasn't seen for 10, 15 years and things like that, bump into him, and they're like, and so he has that social connection, social activity, feeling part of the community, doing things, and he really values that and enjoys it.
That's really, really good. Thank you very much. We hope to share this with everybody else. Thank you.